Hello and welcome to the KEDICHO Podcast.
Hey guys.
The podcast in where we dive deep into uncovering the stories and definition of the dichos we grew up hearing in our Mexican household. I am your host, Alejandro Lubiano.
And I'm your hostess, Alondra Lubiano. And today in episode 3, we're going to be talking about the dicho, a darle que es mole de olla. Ooh. So Alejandro, first and foremost, can you translate that real quick for us before we get into it?
Okay. Well,
You wanna
the
translate
way
it for the
the way
peeps?
that I would translate that is, come on, let's give it our all because we're making Mexican gravy.
Ew, Mexican gravy.
It's because me
Why?
like trying to figure out what mole translate to. Like there is no existing thing that I
So
can find out.
mole is the sauce, right? Not the mole is talking
Yes.
about the sauce.
Mole is talking about that pudding,
Ew.
saucy, gravy looking.
Okay, so I guess
substance.
gravy, it does fall into the category because you pour it on top.
Because I've seen households where they put the chicken and then they just pour the mole.
Mm-hmm. That's how we do it.
From my land, where I came from,
From your,
you
From-
cook the chicken with the mole.
from what's it called? I'm sorry. What did I used to call it?
No, don't say it. Tejupilco.
No, I wasn't gonna say that.
Oh, you weren't
I
gonna
was gonna
say
say, what do they call the people from Ciudad Mexico?
Oh, Chilangolandia?
There we go. I was gonna say Chicanolandia.
Chicanolandia.
That's
We're
us.
in Chicanolandia right now.
Yeah, Chilangolandia, but you're not from that place.
No, they only call Chilangos
From
To the-
Mexico City, the
from
city.
Mexico City. It's like saying people from Washington, D.C., they have a name, I guess.
Mhm.
I
But
don't
not
know.
Washington. I mean, not Virginia itself.
But not exactly the
I said
state.
West Virginia. No, it's in Virginia. Sorry.
I wouldn't know. I don't know that
Yeah,
part of U.S. history or geography.
we're talking about mole.
Oh, yeah, mole.
A
yeah.
darle que, ándale pues a darle que es mole de olla.
Yeah, come on. Time is
Get it?
very valuable.
I
yeah.
know.
So, ooh,
Yummy.
synchronization. So, Alondra, would you like us to catch us up on what you did this week?
So this week, besides just like our mundane everyday, just go work, see what we got to do. I did go back to working out again. So yay for me.
Yay.
I was a little sore a week ago because we actually had started going last week. We started to go back to the park. I'm no longer running, you guys. I decided that, you know what? I need to gain some weight, so I'd rather just do some weights at the gym, at the park. I'm taking my little free weights, my dumbbells. So I'm doing little workouts there on the bench, just by myself while Alejandro's over there running somewhere far.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been doing. I'm a little sore still, but it feels good, you know?
What's that good sore?
It's the good sore. It's not like that terrible sore from
Oh
last
my
week.
God.
That was bad.
The soreness you get whenever you start going back to the gym and you haven't done those
Is
movements,
Torture.
crazy. And I think that's a lot of the reasons why people don't really go back, because they stay at that. They go back and
They shock their muscles and then they're
Mhm.
like, okay, I can't handle this.
and then they're really sore.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
They probably go ham on day one.
Yeah, because like the body's fresh. You have no injuries. You have nothing really telling your body that it's in pain. So then you go, you know what? I'm going to go.
I can
like,
handle
4
All
sets
this weight. Yeah.
of like bench press and then 4 sets of squats and that's a lot. That's a lot of reps just to start off.
And then when it comes to doing it again that next day or in 2 days,
You can't.
you can't because you can barely move.
Oh my God.
That was me last week.
That's a lot of us trying to go back to the gym. And
Yeah.
I've definitely fallen into that trap. But I'm old enough, or have, not that I'm old enough, but I have had plenty of experience that's happened already. So I know if I'm going to go back, it's better to take it easy in the first weeks. Easy and slowly start incrementing the days and also the amount of either running or lifting that you do. What I did this week, while Alondra was doing her working out on the bench, but I went back to like running because that's what I want to start doing again. I used to run a lot when I was in
Back in your prime.
back in my prime, and especially because of soccer, you had to had a lot of condition.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was in the prime of soccer skills and
You're good at
soccer,
running, or
and
you would run
physical,
every day.
I would run every day, and that's all I did: run, run, and sprint. And I used to be able to last the 45 minutes of first time, and then the 45 minutes of the second
So you
time.
played the whole soccer game.
Yeah, 90 minutes of
Of
running, sprinting, falling, jumping. My body could take that. Today, hell no.
So
Hell
you're
no.
trying to start running again. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. And the funny thing is
I'm
that
asking you like if I don't know everything about your life. Sorry. It's just
you,
funny.
But you don't know about my soccer. Like, because I've given you hints.
I don't know any of that. That's so like embarrassing. I'm just kidding.
Oh, don't
No,
cry.
not really.
It's okay.
You're
You're over here fixing
I
it.
have something in my
Lash.
eye. It's probably my fake hair.
That's what they all say when they want to cry. No, but yeah, I wouldn't even last like 10 minutes to that. But the funny
But
thing
you're
is that
running.
my body remembers how it used to be able to last like that. So my brain still is like, yeah, you could go ahead, start running. Used to run like 4 miles, so go for 4 miles.
But by mile 2.
No, not even mile 1. I'm already like,
really?
my body's already starting to like say, hey, yo, chill.
Your check engine light is on.
Yeah, it's like, dude. And I used to not get this thing called shin splints.
Oh, bro.
But oh my god, now I know what it is, and it's like it's
It
literally
hurts.
it prevents you from continuing because
Yeah.
it tightens your calf and the front part of your shin.
Mm-hmm.
And, so anyways, yeah. So that was me this week, trying to run the miles.
Right. Another thing that I was gonna say. Sorry. Are you done?
Go ahead.
That I'm starting to implement. It's not just this week, but I just wanted to share it with the podcast peeps that I'm cutting off caffeine indefinitely for the time being, and I'm also trying to eat healthy.
Okay.
Like, I've always been kind of health conscious of like, oh, okay, this is kind of a healthier choice and whatnot. But now I'm really strictly trying to eat organic, as in just fruits and veggies and rice and chicken, tofu, smoothies, like honestly real food, like food, not anything processed, except for yesterday I ate
Oh my god.
Wingstop. But other than that, like it's been
Let me just say that's our kryptonite.
oh my
guys.
god.
Wings
If he brings it up, I
on
can't
a
say
Friday night.
no. If I bring it up, he
Oh
can't
my
say no. Like
God.
it's really bad. But it's chicken. Right?
Since that's like our favorite meal to get, like,
Man, that's
like
our
oh my
guilty
god,
pleasure.
it's like if Alondra tells me right now, like, hey, let's go get
That is
some
so
Wingstop
bad.
after the podcast, I would be like, yes, let's go.
That's
So
a
I have
great
to-
idea.
So I have to fight it. I
don't think we've
physically
ever just
fight it
said
in
no.
my mind.
Well, actually, yeah, we have. But that's always like the thing that we work for. Like, oh, if we work, and you know when it started, right?
Yes.
When we would work out at the gym after COVID,
Well, yeah.
we would be like, oh, if we do it all this week, we're gonna get Wingstop.
It
And
was
it would be our
we made it our reward for
Yeah.
working out a whole week.
and we would do it. Would we do it every week? I don't
No,
No.
I mean, it was
like once a month.
the reward was we could eat out on Fridays
Mm-hmm.
because you would bring
I would make.
Our
I would meal
dinner.
prep for us,
Mhm.
and we'd eat in the car.
right.
That was crazy.
Oh my god. I experienced caffeine withdrawals this week and I don't like it. And it showed me that I guess my body was very used to drinking
Mhm.
coffee every day. And now it's a mental note to start limiting
Your caffeine,
caffeine
or
in general.
at least like
yeah.
if you're gonna drink it, make sure you're consciously knowing how much you're consuming.
Yeah. That way I don't experience that ever again.
Yeah, because I feel like it could affect your body in other ways.
It definitely affects the mood because for no reason or for just the reason of caffeine with withholding caffeine or not drinking caffeine,
You get
your body makes you feel pain. It's like, where's my coffee? Oh, really? I'm going to show you pain because you didn't give me my fix of coffee.
Dude, that's called a vicio.
It's because caffeine has a lot of benefits. That's the thing.
Yeah, I know. Caffeine is, it's natural, right? It's found in nature. I'm sure it's not going to kill you. But I was just curious as to how long have you ever gone without drinking it religiously like that? Like, can you do that?
I wouldn't do it religiously. It's just the sense of...
Every morning?
Yes.
That's a routine.
Well, my question is, what's wrong with coffee? Huh, Alondra?
I don't want to put it out here on the podcast.
No, but that's you deducing that that's what it is. I'm not saying it is that.
I don't know that, but that's what I'm saying.
We're just trying a form of diet elimination thing.
Like fixing our diet and seeing if it fixes your gut.
So, yeah, like everybody else, and I'm guessing our listeners will be seeing this and be like, yeah, you know what? I'm also in that journey. I'm trying to figure that out. Well, yeah, we're also trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
This is just what we did this week to try to uncover a little bit more about our health and trying to build a long-lasting life. Because that's the goal that we want.
A healthy life.
I want a long-lasting, healthy life.
Yeah.
And that's where you have to be putting in the effort on to seeing what you're eating, seeing what you're doing for exercising, and then regulating also your sleep cycle schedule. Which, putting it all together, that's kind of like the things to have a very successful and healthy lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. Amen, brother.
So yeah. All right.
Let's get into the nitty gritty. I say that in every episode.
Oh my God. You know what else you're starting to say?
What?
Whenever you say in your intro, when you say whenever you say the dicho, you're like, ooh.
Because there's no hyping. There's no press the buttons, un aplauso o algo. You're the button guy. You want me to do it? I can do it. Give me buttons.
No, you don't need the buttons.
You don't even touch the buttons.
So, we're going to start diving deep into the dicho, a darle que es mole de olla. And like I said...
Ooh. I don't know if you saw, but I tried to hold it back.
Oh my God.
But then I was like, I was just going to say it.
Oh my God, girl. So, a darle que es mole de olla.
So you already gave your translation.
When I gave my translation, I said, come on, let's give it our all that we're making Mexican
gravy.
Gravy.
Sauce.
Yeah.
So for me, my translation would be, what did I say then? Bro, when I'm on the podcast, I'm blank. I feel like I'm dumb on the podcast, but then when I'm not on the podcast, I can just talk. Anyways, that's me all the time. No.
Come on, Nalo.
It's because I feel like I'm on the spot.
You're not. You're having a conversation with me. Come
You're
on.
right. You're right. Okay.
Just think about it.
A darle que es mole de olla, for me, it's just like, get into it. I don't know. Yeah, like, get to it. That's what I think of. Like, just get to it. It's important. Get to it. This is important.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my...
Get to it. This is important. That's what... A darle que es mole de olla.
Or get into it. Yeah.
So, where's that from? I don't really know.
It's like some girl on some old video. It's okay. It don't matter.
Let's get some help from Google.
Dr. Google.
Here is a little context of what a darle que es mole de olla means.
Like the literal or...
It's just what is written here from this website called México Desconocido.
A ver, pues, échale.
Invitación a hacer alguna cosa con buen ánimo y sin demora. El mexicanismo mole de olla es, en opinión de muchas, uno de los platillos más deliciosos que puede existir en el país. Y por lo mismo, no debes de desdeñarse. Desdeñarse, I don't know what that means. No debes desdeñarse ninguna oportunidad de disfrutarlo.
So what it's saying is that the Mexican dish is a very special dish that is only on occasions, because I'm sure it takes a lot of work to prepare.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of ingredients. So usually for big occasions, weddings, parties, whatever. So because you're having the opportunity to eat it, take advantage of it and eat it. Right?
Uh-huh.
So
is that what you understood?
That's
from
what
that?
I understood. What about you, homie?
So mole is a very for many Mexicans, mole is one of like the most delicious dish you can have.
Apparently.
So if you are giving the situation where like, hey, we're gonna make mole,
it's a big deal.
We gotta get to it. Like, come on, let's hurry it up and let's do mole. Do not miss your chance to make mole because you're gonna not experience that good dish, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we were to translate it or to use it something to say English? It in a way that it's in the same value, let's just say
cake.
Yeah, like a dish that's very good for
in America.
Just like pizza, right? For all those pizza lovers, it's like saying, come on, let's get to it because we're going to eat pizza.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. So what it also said in that description was that you say it to invoke enthusiasm on people to do something that's going to result on something valuable.
Mm-hmm.
In if you want to see it as a motivational term
mm-hmm.
or
that
saying,
makes sense.
You can see it as like, come on, let's get to it because the outcome
is a delicious dish.
Not take it literal, but like the outcome is something desirable, something you want. It's like your goals. It's like, come on, that we're gonna work on your goals. What you want, you're gonna receive what you want. So let's get it.
So like when you wake up in the morning, darle que es mole de olla because you're gonna go work on your dreams.
Yeah,
or like you're gonna go to work or
that's
whatever.
A perfect example. It's like, and you could, I guess. If you have like a friend or you have your partner that's like being lazy and then you kind of like want to raise morale, you say
it's kind of like a motivational sentence that you
that you can throw, some dicho that you can throw to someone that's feeling down. A darle, que es ole de moya. Oh my God. And that is live footage of my dyslexia.
I better write it down. Woo! Oh my God.
Working in real time, guys.
You guys, I have a literal note page on my phone. I have a little note page on my phone of these situations that I've had with Alejandro throughout our entire relationship. And I'm so glad that we got it on tape because God. It's so funny. Oh my God. I almost peed right now. Almost peed. I'm serious. I have 1%.
I'm getting red. I'm getting like flustered because like how? Like I cannot believe that my brain does that to me.
A darle que es
ole de moya. Where does that make sense?
I'm crying.
And also, I hate I can't really laugh and go all out because like my throat's sensitive right now.
Where is it? Where's
my God! Because then I'll be coughing a lot. But that was hilarious.
Yes. Ole de moya.
So what she's doing, she's writing down in her notes that phrase because that's a whole.
I have so many good ones.
So that's a whole no, not right now.
They're not worthy yet.
No,
I have like 40
phrases. So, yeah, Alondra has a list of all the mistaking words that I flipped or said it wrong, or my dyslexia had just.
I'm sorry, boo boo.
So there's this long list. Make sure to follow and stay tuned because we'll
be sharing. I want to share it with you guys.
Yeah, we're gonna be sharing that list. It's pretty so funny.
Good. It's hilarious.
And we can give context of when I've said it, and like, we're just like, what? Are you okay, dude? But yeah, like I'm glad I caught that on camera and on audio because I don't do it on purpose. Okay,
you guys saw how serious he was.
I was just in a train of thought, and then I knew what I was supposed to say, but like my brain just like flipped it.
Like for what?
And like said it in a context so differently. Oh my god. And Alondra cannot get enough of that. Like
it's so funny every time.
I know. I feel so dumb when that happens. Oh my god.
No, I don't mean to make fun. I love you even more for that. I'm serious. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you. That makes me feel better.
Aww.
But yeah, no. That's something I've been struggling with my whole life, guys. And I guess I did not know what it was, but apparently it's dyslexia.
I don't know. I've never met anybody that special, so I love it. It's
and
so
it happens
funny.
when I'm
like,
reading.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I hear you read out loud, but I don't hear you mess up words like that.
Because I'm going slow.
Oh, but it's like what is it? An Easter egg? No, Easter. What are they called whenever like they find things in Pixar?
An Easter egg.
It's like an Easter egg in Alejandro. Like if you get to experience it, it's like pure serotonin for me. Dopamine, serotonin, the happy chemicals. I laugh and I cry and I pee. Anyways, back to what we were saying.
Yeah, I don't understand that pee part, but okay.
Have you never peed? Have you never laughed so much you peed?
I think that's a girl thing. I don't think guys experience that.
Imagine a guy. Actually, I've never heard of a guy doing that.
No, I've only heard like girls say that. Like, oh my god, I'm laughing so hard I pee myself. It's like, what? Get it together. Oh my god.
I need to do some Kegels.
Oh my
Kegels?
god.
Kegels?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
So back to the dicho, guys. A darle, que es mole de olla.
Right. So we gave an example of that. It's motivation. It's a phrase of motivation. So for us, in the place that we could place it into is like when we wake up in the morning, or other people as well, is like a darle que es mole de olla. Échale ganas. Like today is another day. A darle. And then es mole de olla, meaning it's
life is just so precious.
Yeah.
That you have to put that energy into making, because it's like eating mole de olla.
And that's a mindset that everybody should have. Even me, just speaking about it, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m.
You know how like we started this journey of like starting to talk about the dichos. Mm-hmm. And just hearing all these dichos, like at the beginning, you're kind of like, well, that sounds funny. Like the first time I read like, a darle que es olla de... A darle que es mole de olla. Come on, let's not let go. Let's not get it together, please. I know it's funny, but I'm trying to be serious, you see? And that's why I don't think she takes me seriously sometimes, because I could be mad at Alondra, and that's like whenever it slips more or something, I don't know. And then it's just like an icebreaker for like her her being mad at me, and honestly, and I just like slip like that.
For anybody, if they ever mess up a phrase, I crack up.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm back.
So my train of thought, let me get it back. It left. Left. Oh my god.
Oh, that it sounds funny.
So yeah, so the first time I read that, it was like I was so like I didn't get it, and I didn't understand it, first of all. But I just thought it was funny, like a darle que es mole de olla. But the more you start breaking it down and seeing the definition or the description of how to use it, and then you start understanding it, that it's motivational, mm-hmm. and there's a root, or there's a moral or a hidden message,
yes,
that can help you if you really look into it. And that's what we've been experiencing with looking into the dichos deeper.
That's why I find that these dichos are so full of wisdom and value, that like it can be the literal thing, like why would mole de olla, what is the prisa for the literal dish, mm-hmm. What is so valuable, and we already gave that reason. but it's also like the meaning that you can implement into your daily life. That something of value, échale ganas, you know?
Right.
So that's why I really do like dichos. I think they're so interesting because you up front you might not even know what the heck that means. Like you said, it sounded funny, and to me, whenever I first heard it too, I was like, that this dicho, I couldn't get it up front at first, but now that we have dove in deep into it, it makes sense and it is inspirational. It's motivational. I'm just like, wow, that's really freaking cool.
Right. Like I get it. Like,
yeah, like I can relate, or like you said, I get it.
So then you can start using it and then get those looks of people being like, what do you mean it's mole de olla? And then you can explain it. And I bet that's part of the things that we kind of missed out from moving to the United States. We just didn't get that explanation. And then they would give it to us and we're like, or they would give the dicho, but never explain it because they thought we already knew it. I'm guessing.
I would never really hear them other than with my grandparents.
Right, because I think that's a part of the value of a dicho is that you have to say it and then share the meaning. Or maybe that's the trick. As in like,
if you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
I think that's what it is. I think that's literally why they're so weird. Because if you know, you know what it means.
Right. Oh. It's as if they just dropped the link and it's up to you to dig to find out what that means.
You gotta use your brain, because a lot of the times with my grandpa, he'd be dropping who knows what he's saying. I don't even know what he's saying.
Right.
But unless you think about it, obviously, you gotta be like, And
then if you don't get it, like he'll just laugh at you.
And he does not explain it.
What?
He shakes his head and he walks away,
right,
laughing.
As in like, or maybe it's like, I'm gonna tell you this wisdom, but if you pay attention and you're able to decipher it, or maybe if you're awakened enough to see behind the words, you can see the real meaning that I meant. And if you get it, then I know that you're at
my level.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is it like a rite of passage type of thing?
Could be.
Like I'm giving you this
because the context is in your culture, or even culture that you don't even know, because some of the things are very ranchito stuff,
right?
That not everybody has experienced in Mexico, because not everybody in Mexico lives in a rancho. So I think those dichos, given the context, if you know, you know. So it's cool.
Yeah, it's very interesting to start thinking this way, and I think it's a type of rite of passage, as in like, if you've lived long enough in this earth, you're able to decipher it. Or if not, you are expected to look into what that dicho means that you were told. Because if you instigate the dicho and you ask either the person or you ask someone else, they'll give their interpretation and thus gives you information of like, oh, what he was trying to say, not directly. Like you need to get some ánimo. Like if someone's like, a darle que es mole de olla, and the person didn't get it, they're just like, oh no, I'll just stay here. I won't go. Like, hey, come on, dude, come on, let's go see this job opportunity that I just found out.
Right.
A darle que es mole de olla, and the person's like, no, you know what, I'm gonna stay in here, do the same thing I've been doing. And then it's like, well, I guess you didn't get it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go on, move on. And so then the person's like, but like, what did he say? He said something weird.
Because there's so much in that phrase that they're trying to say. Might as well just say the little phrase. Because they're saying like, this is a great opportunity. Like, wake up. Look at what is presented to you. You know?
But he missed it.
In that scenario.
The person could have been direct and said, come on, dude, this is a great opportunity, but like I feel that being too direct would like go over their head type of thing.
As if the dicho wasn't going to go over their head. To say the phrase is kind of trying to hint at a message to somebody, and if they can understand that, then como que good for them. It's like telling them like, hey, hello, look at this opportunity, but without being rude. Without being like, hey, get your lazy ass up and go get that job.
Oh, because it could be taken the wrong way.
Yeah, so I believe that saying that dicho is kind of more of a motivational way to say it. Like, look at this opportunity.
Right.
Instead of telling them to
Get up, get a job. Lazy piece of
shit.
Person.
Just kidding.
There's this opportunity right in front of you. That's like equivalent to mole de olla.
Don't be dumb and fall asleep on this opportunity again.
Right.
Or whatever. Nah, that's just a hardcore version.
Or what a dicho, it's pretty much it's that. So here's what I think so far in this journey that we started. So far I've identified what dichos are is well-known knowledge said in a way people from a particular region will understand it better if it's said that way.
Right. Yeah, because people can relate in their culture with those type of sayings, which is why us Chicanos, or I'm just speaking for myself maybe, for me it's hard to understand on the first time that I hear these dichos because I'm not so involved in that culture anymore. I'm kind of detached. So It's kind of like, okay, I hear mole. I don't like mole. What do you mean? Right. So
hold up.
Record scratch.
What do you mean you don't like mole?
Yeah. I don't like mole, you guys. Okay. I don't like a lot of things.
Seriously?
I'm for real. Okay. But like either way,
flavor wise? You don't like the flavor? Was it too spicy for you? Or
okay, look, there's a lot of things. First of all, chicken legs. The way that I grew up watching my grandma make mole, I saw her make the mole. As in, I saw her grab that chicken and kill it.
Okay.
I was there through everything. I don't even know if you've seen it, Alejandro.
No, girl, yes.
Have you really seen them grab the little pollo and just like pull them upside down and just slit their throat or just crack their neck?
Yes, because I'll tell you,
you were the
core memory that I had is like knowing that we were gonna make mole. And hence, I already liked mole when I was when I was told, oh yeah, we're gonna eat mole. I'm like, oh yeah, here, go watch your grandma and your tias make mole. And then, for me, it was I mean, this might be too much rated. It's what do they call it?
Rated M for mature.
Content, explicit content coming up. For me, it was a highlight to get to step on the escoba broom.
No, sir.
Stick.
I was really young.
If you know, you know,
bro. So you know exactly what they mean by like. Then they had les pluman.
Yeah, they had to prepare the chicken.
And then he's like raw, like just body, just like skin.
Yeah.
And they cut him. And I've seen that they take the huevitos out if it was a mom for whatever reason. They take out the guts.
Yeah, so you're talking about the hardcore ranchito style of preparing food because over there,
that's for any occasion.
You don't have the privilege of just going to the market and getting the chicken already in pieces or like getting your meat from a meat market. Like they don't have that privilege.
I've seen it all, my dude. I've seen borregos.
So for you,
pigs.
that
scarred me. That really scarred me. And I grew up going to Mexico, so I saw that as a young child, and I was like, so you mean to tell me that little chicken that chicken that was over there running around this morning is here on my plate dead? I'm not gonna eat that. And so that is kind of why I don't really like to eat animals.
So it's not so much that it tastes bad.
I've never really given it a chance ever since then. The chicken like that. I do eat, like I said, I do eat Wingstop, boneless. I'm very particular, okay? I don't like carne asada like that. I don't like tacos. Because I don't like menudo. any of those things that involve pieces of meat or chicken that just looks like animal, that it just looks like it. If it's not covered in something like a burger, I can't eat it. I can't.
But is it because of your
Because
association to the real animal? To the
yes,
whole
because I
animal?
know it looks too meaty. It looks too fleshy. It looks like a body part. It's meat. It's carne. It's body.
Is that the reason you don't like mole? Because you think about the chicken?
That's one of the reasons. And another reason is because mole poblano is sweet. And apparently it's not the same in every state. I didn't know there was a different type of mole. I thought it was all mole poblano. I don't know. That might just be biased because my dad's from Puebla. So that's the only mole that I've ever had before you. So yeah, I always thought it was sweet and it would make my stomach hurt because I am actually sensitive to sweeteners or something in
sugar in general.
I really don't know. It's been my lifelong thing.
Well, in mole they definitely add sugar.
Yeah, I know. And chocolate.
And chocolate.
So, and I've concluded that chocolate gives me diarrhea. So
So that's why you don't like
I can't get into
mole,
it.
because there's two things.
Yeah.
The way that they make it in Puebla is a sweet mole, which by the way I call it chocolate pudding.
Whatever.
And the one that I grew up eating was
spicy.
A spicy one.
Is it
flavorful,
green? No, it's still brown.
seasoned nuts, and they're all grinded in chile guajillo.
Yeah.
And a whole bunch of other species and species. Highlight of that is like, yes, I also saw the process of making mole, and there was like this pride of my grandma saying, mañana voy a hacer un mole, vénganse a mi casa que van a comer todos mis hijos y todos, o vamos a hacer mole porque llegaron los del norte, llegaron mis niños los niños de que se fueron al norte. It would be me and my siblings. Vamos a hacer mole, so it was like a a dish of like
made with love.
Yeah, you don't always eat mole, so whenever they make mole, it's for special occasions. Like us coming from the United States to go visit to Mexico. And I remember also being there when she was making it and having that perspective of like in the United States, over here in Texas, I never saw the process of making mole. But when I went to Mexico, I would see the whole beginning to end of mole, and I would help grind the little machine that they used to like grind all the species or the especies and the chile and all that stuff, good stuff, to make into that paste that then they used to make the mole,
the sauce.
And then seeing the well, from my perspective, or whenever we would my grandma would make them, she didn't have to kill the chicken herself because we were more in like a bigger pueblo. And the only experience that I have whenever I would get to see that is whenever it was a big party. So the thing about like, instead of buying just the parts that you're going to eat, if you're going to have a party, you buy the chickens and then you yourself do that whole process.
Oh, because your family doesn't have land necessarily to raise chickens there, right?
Right, but yeah, and since you do live in a town, there's a carnicero, el pollero.
He dedicates himself to that.
Yeah, and you could just go buy it for like a small meal or like a family. But whenever it's a party, it's more money efficient to get like
the chickens,
like 5 or 10 chickens, and you do the whole thing because you save money.
Man,
so
I'll just be eating the arroz and frijoles. That's all I do.
Wow,
I can't, dude. And then I feel bad because when I go visit your family, I eat some just because I don't want to be rude, but I make sure that I serve myself a little bit because I can't.
But what about, so you don't like the Puebla mole because it was sweet and it had the chicken. But what about just adding that sauce, the mole sauce or gravy into your arroz or something, or just the flavor of mole?
It's aight. Look, here's the thing. I'm not I've noticed in your stories that you relate a lot of like food and family and love into one category. So like you said that your grandma made it with love and that makes it even more appealing to eat.
Right.
Like for me, I don't relate food with any emotion. It just is.
Really.
Yeah. And so I'm not, because I remember once your mom even asked me over there in Mexico, she's like, what's your favorite dish? She was just like it was just like a random question. I was like, you know what? I don't have a favorite like pizza. Like I really don't have something that I'm like, oh my God, like this just is the bomb.com.
Okay.
I don't know what's like, yeah.
Yeah, I feel from my background with my family, we would bond. We would see bonding and eating will come close together,
Mm-hmm.
and not only the eating part when we sit down and eat the food, we also had a preparing because our parents would involve us on the process of making the food. Like my mom, when we would make a family meal, um, we will each partake in the prepping. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of the times, I would get to cortar las cebollas or make the salsa or make the tortillas. Or actually, that one was more for Marco. Marco would be like,
He would
Marco,
have to
ponte las
go.
tortillas.
Aw.
He would calentar las tortillas, and then nannies would make something else.
What about your dad?
And then my dad would help too. Well, my dad is a chef, pretty much. He was a cook. I mean, he would be helping my mom either.
That's nice.
And so yeah. So I had that experience of like the prepping and then the eating all together. So growing up with that, I equivalent like I've had my biggest memories of love with my family
Is in dinner.
in dinner, yeah, in prepping and eating, and then even
Pobrecito, ahora
we
ya
would do,
sufre.
and then and it wasn't there. Like once you finish eating, we wouldn't get up of the table. We would just sit there like
And talk.
oh, or like oh, and then that's when like the conversations would come in, reminiscing and like yeah.
Are you getting cry right now?
No,
A
but
little
like
bit.
I'm getting like, oh man,
Just
I
kidding.
kind of like that was my well, we're a family of five, my parents and my three siblings, and then those were like the moments where like I can look back and say I value those so much now that I don't
Kinda
have
miss
that,
it. Yeah.
right? And for me now, looking forward, that is what I want to create with you.
Oh, how cute.
Create that environment, that family where like we prep together and then we sit down together and then we have the
You still kind of do
conversation.
that. Like whenever I'm making food, you always either take over or you just start helping, and I don't even have to ask you. I'm
Right,
just
yeah,
like,
'cause
okay.
I see it normal as in like
Not, I mean, for me.
we all help. It's like in our family there wasn't like, oh no, you're a woman so you go sit, you me and my dad and my dad and my dad
Your
my
dad and your dad.
my brother and me like
Just sit and
would
wait.
just sit down and wait and let my sister and
Well-
my mom, we would actually pitch in.
No, that's where your dynamic is different than mine. But I will say, I was raised in a household with my grandparents, and their, I guess their culture, their way of living kind of overpowered the kitchen life. So my grandma would be the main one cooking. And since she didn't have any sons, she's used to doing it on her own.
Wait,
My grandma.
since she only had sons.
Yeah, she was
Sorry,
used
you
to
said
doing
it
it.
wrong.
No.
You said it since she didn't
Only.
have any sons.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Yeah, since she only had sons, she was used to doing it on her own. So she had never really asked anybody or us growing up.
Right. So in other words, your grandma didn't have daughters.
Yeah, she didn't have any daughters.
Right.
So she was the one attending. And to this day, she still attends to my grandpa. I don't agree with it. I think it's very...
Sexist? Is that the thing? Machismo?
He is machismo. Yeah, he has that machismo in him still. But also now because he's really old. But I mean, whatever. What can you do at this point?
Right.
But in a way that did reflect into my dad. He does help. He does do his things when he needs to, but he's used to my mom cooking for him. And then there was me where I didn't have to cook for my dad. I would just like make my own little meals and keep it moving. So
okay.
it
So
it's
it was
so
kind of like
weird
everybody did their own meal type of thing. Like, for example, for
for
you,
me
because
because I didn't really like to eat what the family ate because I'm so
okay.
picky. Like I just had to make my own stuff.
And then either way, your grandma was the one making the meal
Yeah, because my mom,
for
she has
everybody.
always been working. And
Mm-hmm.
then there was a big time in my life where she was working nights or she was working and then going to school after work. So it was just like almost, she would cook, but it was a lot of times when my grandma was there, she would be the one cooking. She didn't live with us all the time, but it was a dynamic of an extended family where each woman had her own way of cooking. So it wasn't like with you guys where it was just your immediate family. And that was the culture that you guys had.
Right. Okay.
Just the 5 of you.
I could only speak for us 5, my
Yeah.
parents and my siblings. That was our dynamic. Because in Mexico, I see it more as in like, yeah, my grandma would cook for my grandpa,
Mm-hmm.
and that was it. That's like my grandpa would go to work and he would come back and ask for his food.
Yeah, that's how it
Pretty
is
much,
with my grandparents.
right?
Yeah.
With our parents, I guess because they also stepped out of that culture and came to
Mexico?
United States. They saw that like, oh, we can do a bit. It works different over here.
Mm-hmm.
We can all collaborate
Yeah.
to make something delicious. And for me, I think there's a lot of value on that, and to include that in your family. And if you don't do this, if you're like the dad or you're like the wife with your kids, and you don't involve them in the cooking, or you don't share the kitchen together, I am saying that that's where you can build a lot of that family unit, or you can build a lot of good memories there, because you're doing something together. And I do recommend it because, in my perspective, it worked for my family.
Yeah.
And like it kept us very close and tight. So back to mole de olla.
We're talking about food.
Right.
Not the message itself.
Yeah, I kind of just went there, but like it's okay. I guess we can get a little question as in like, so looking into your life,
Mm-hmm.
when would have been a perfect scenario where this dicho would have helped you?
A recent one I could think of at the top of my head was when I made my wedding dress. I don't know if I've given that example before, but just the fact that there was a lot of effort putting into that project and the outcome was to wear it to my wedding. Like, that's a big deal. Okay.
You needed to have a lot of like self-motivation.
There was no reason. Yeah, exactly. Nobody told me to do that.
Right.
Everybody else has a different approach. Majority, like 95% of people
Like
go
default.
and buy one. Yeah.
Okay, the default is I'm going to go buy my wedding dress.
And here's my money and yeah, like alterations, whatever. But for me, I decided to start from zero and just build my own dress. And it was coming from experience that I had in high school, which was just learning how to use the sewing machine.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't really sewing anything, so I don't have that much experience. And I believed in myself enough to be like, you know what? This is a great opportunity to learn to make it happen for my wedding. And I'm only going to get married once.
Right.
I don't want to look like a clown. Kind of did, but I mean,
no, you didn't.
Alejandro.
Your dresses were beautiful.
Thank you.
Because you made 2.
I made too many. I made a lot. Okay. I made more than 2, but I wore 2.
Okay.
I made a lot of dresses, Alejandro. But that was a perfect example of the motivation that I had. Que a darle que es mole de olla.
Right. Like you had to see it that way, and that's where like that dicho kind of like goes with you with that situation, because the end result, you started doing your dress like
January
11. So what was it? Like 10 months in advance.
Yeah.
And then your motivation was the outcome, which was your wedding.
The motivation was to wear it to the wedding.
To wear it and make it be beautiful,
mm-hmm.
right? So every day you had to be like, a darle que es olla de mole, que es mole de olla. And
you said it all right.
and sorry.
At least it's
A
not.
Darle. Yeah, you. So
Ole de
you.
moya.
I know. Oh my god.
Oh,
So
God.
you would not. You wouldn't say that dicho because you didn't know it.
Exactly.
But you would.
I didn't know any of the dichos.
But you embodied that every day. You saw it that way every day. That
Yeah. And even in the times where I would go, believe it or not, like 2 weeks without touching the wedding dress. Like I would go
Okay.
for a while and then I'd be like, oh snap, like a darle que es mole de olla. Like remember,
Right.
girl, like this is for real. Like you're really
Right.
doing this. You need to get onto it. Get
Yeah.
into it. So
did you progress a lot, like in a day, making your dress when you would go into it?
it was a lot of work because it took me so many fails, so many dress attempts. But I made a dress probably like every month and a half, digamos. But if I'm talking about the dress that I did end up wearing,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I did progress pretty fast because I was actually really taking it seriously because I had the pressure of the wedding is next month. The wedding is in 2 weeks. The
Right.
wedding is next week. And I was still trying to finish the dress. So once I really dedicated my time to it, like I took it very seriously, I did progress pretty fast. Ay, Dios mío. What about you, Alejandro? Is there a time or
You're done with
occasion?
your.
Yeah, that was the example because it was like the pressure was on and I had to really look at the fact that I was making this for my wedding. Like it wasn't just a fun little project that I was like, hee haha.
Right.
I was at first.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe not even. I just didn't know what I was doing. And I learned a lot. And I feel like I kind of still I still have that itch to like make stuff out of fabric with my little dressmaker.
Ooh.
I
Okay.
know.
Did that journey interest you in doing like
Like new projects, like
new
make clothes.
clothing?
Yeah, it has.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have something in mind so far?
So I have some leftover fabric from
Mm-hmm.
it's like purple fabric, and I've been thinking about making like a matching 2-piece set.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been able to do it yet. I don't know why. I just haven't put the time into
Maybe
it.
because we had like a big project to work on, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But
Could have been that.
honestly, I do see myself making stuff for maybe involving KEDICHO.
Oh.
Yeah, but I still have to get good at it because I'm not going to say my dress was the best made. It was
Mhm.
made, but it wasn't like properly made.
Right.
So still got to learn those few things here and there.
Yeah. And it's awesome how like people found that very interesting.
I was so surprised.
Yeah.
I didn't.
You share that on a TikTok. Your whole journey, right?
Yeah, I did. No, I actually cut it short.
You cut it
I
short.
have a lot of phases of the dresses that I did not put in. Some of them were really ugly and I didn't put them in for that reason. And some of them were really pretty and I was like, why didn't I put that in?
Right.
But speaking on that, I remember every time, the few hundred times that I went to Joann's to buy fabric, because I was going religiously. Almost every time that I would be either checking out or buying the fabric in the little fabric section,
Yeah.
somebody would ask me, he's like, oh, what are you making? And I think we're just doing small talk. I didn't get it because they would ask me every now and then, whoever was there. And I was like,
Right.
oh, I'm making my wedding dress. And their jaws would drop every time. They were like, what? Oh my gosh, that is so awesome. Good for you. And I'm just like I would scratch my head. I'm like, am I is this a smart idea? Because everybody can't believe it.
Right.
Nobody can believe it.
I wonder why. Is it like is it like because nobody's stopping anybody from making their own dress?
Right. Yeah, exactly. But I feel like there's a lot of pressure for brides for that. That is the biggest. Según they make it seem like, oh, this is the most happiest day of your life.
Okay.
Being and having a wedding, they market it as like it's gonna happiest day of your life. You're gonna be the beautifulest bride ever, the most beautiful you've ever felt.
And all the brides are like,
And
I will.
yeah, exactly. And so you want to feel beautiful.
Mm.
And a lot of people don't have the type of delusion or confidence to say that I'm going to make a beautiful dress for that day
Mm-hmm.
to complement the myself in the wedding, and to have it in video, to have it in pictures, to have it forever, to be that was my look on my wedding day. Which is why a lot of brides have a hard time choosing a dress, because they try on hundreds of dresses or whatever to find the one, because you want to feel beautiful in it. And so for me, making one, that's kind of like throwing the whole thing away, like throwing away that whole process of finding the one and trying out hundreds of dresses,
building the one,
trusting that you look good in it.
Okay.
And just building the one,
making the one instead. And
it's crazy. It's just a crazy concept for a bride. Maybe for like any other dress, yeah, why not?
And there is this level of like not status, but acknowledgement, as in like there could be bigger, more expensive wedding dresses that you bought for like $20,000 or $50,000, but it would never compare to the one that person made, and it was very beautiful.
Right. And that's why people were...
And there's that level of like, this trumps that $50,000.
I would say
in opinion. Yeah. I don't know. What do y'all think, brides?
I'm just saying, it wasn't... Ooh, there's a lot of controversy on that dress, though.
Really?
Because there's so much that people expect from a bride that they have... Like, people judge the dress all the time. Like, ese vestido... le queda muy bonito, o ese vestido está muy escotado, like too sexy. Like there's always that opinion of like, oh, what are the people going to think of me and my dress?
Right.
Because it's like the first thing that people look at, your dress, you're the bride. No one cares about the groom. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
In a wedding, I don't think it's geared towards
a man. It's not really geared.
Katrina's going to be in the way. No, Katrina.
It's not really geared towards a man. Let's be honest.
The wedding, no. It's
a lot of pressure on a woman.
That's the bride's day more than anything.
Yeah, and so it's a lot of pressure.
It's the bride and groom's day, but to look beautiful and be the flower of the day.
It's
the bride's.
Yeah. So that's why a lot of women don't have that type of, I guess, vision, or many people say delusion, to say that I'm gonna make my dress and I'm going to make sure I look good in it. Or I'm going to make sure it looks good.
Because when you're making it, there's so many variables that you can get wrong. Katrina, no.
So many things that I had to learn the hard way.
Sorry.
And the thing is that whenever I did end up showing my dress journey on TikTok, that blew up unexpectedly.
Right.
Oh my God. A lot of people had opinions because every bride has a different taste and a different vision for their wedding day. And that is normal. Everybody, oh my God, there's so many unique dresses. Each one is perfect for their own little bride, you know? Right. So for the fact that I made one and it was so out there, I'm going to say it was really out there. Believe it or not, Alejandro. And a lot of people were amazed. They're like, I've never seen a dress like that. But they said, good job. Like, you made it look good.
Because let me share this. And that's probably like the perspective of every guy. Unless you're not the type of guy like I am. But like the majority of the guys look at a wedding dress and they're like,
that's a dress.
That dress looks like every other dress that I've seen. It's a wedding dress, right?
Yeah.
They all kind of look, they look similar. They look the same almost. But they have the little tweaks and there and there.
Yeah.
There and there.
That's exactly what I didn't want. I didn't want to feel like it was the same thing for me.
And so there's the conventional wedding dress.
Yeah.
What do they call it? Cookie cutter dress. That this is what every girl at least
has a variation of that.
Okay.
And it's very common. It's almost all the brides except for the ones who pay a lot to get that different looking dress.
Right. And you
I paid a lot in my time.
You went like, I'm going to make it different. and I'm gonna make it me.
Exactly. And a lot of people did not like that. But it's okay. Like
Bájate, Katrina.
I felt beautiful on my wedding day. Like nobody could tell me
Ooh,
anything.
You were very beautiful.
Oh, thank
and
you.
I was like, oh, she's mine.
Aw, you're so cute.
Hi, Katrina.
Oh yeah, that's our kitty girl. She's the crazy one.
Yeah.
You gonna lay here? Vente para acá. Don't touch anything, please. Anyway, so a darle que es mole de olla. I made that dress for that beautiful day of ours. Very significant, very amazing, very wonderful, very perfect. I loved everything about it.
Believe it or not, but I kind of have that, like when I met you, I knew you were
crazy,
very different, and I saw that you were very creative to begin with.
You saw that?
From yeah. And the more that I got to know you, I was like, oh my God.
She's the one. No, not yet.
I like her and like she has a lot to offer. And like I see that your personality is like someone who creates. And I am very in tune with that mentality and that focus of like creating, or like I have a lot of value in creating.
Mm-hmm.
I like creating. I like being creative. And
yeah,
and like when I saw that you were that type of person, it's like okay, big ass check mark.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
And then now from the perspective of like you even sharing the idea of like, I'm thinking of making my dress. I was like, go for it.
Really?
Oh my God. Yes, you should. That's the answer. I wouldn't want it any other way.
Oh, you're so cute.
And then to see like how what you created, other people like that.
Could
I
see
was
the
like,
value.
yeah, they saw the same value that I saw. And I was like, yes.
Oh.
Picked right.
You're so cute. I don't even know what to say. Thank you.
Yeah, and I've always valued that about you. You're very creative and like and knew that I needed to have you in my team. Because where we're going, it's a very creative place. And where I see ourselves going.
What is it, Disneyland?
Is of that. It's like creating something that didn't exist before and bringing it to life.
Wow.
So with that, thank you guys for this podcast.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys for thank you for coming and seeing experiencing this podcast.
Thanks for listening, tuning in with us. We had a juicy one today, I feel.
Yeah, I love this
I know
podcast.
we kind of got sidetracked here and there,
but we're getting better at podcasting.
Yeah.
But like we said, we're going to be working on this journey and we're going to go paso a paso. Se anda lejos.
Poco a poco se anda lejos.
Poco a poco se anda lejos.
Y a darle que es mole de olla.
Mole de olla.
We had to think of that one.
Yeah, thank you for coming. See you in the next podcast.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye. Love you.
Goodbye.